Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to create couple of more programs in Java. So let's get started with this. In last video we covered about number system. So if you haven't watched the video, just check it on I button. In last video on the number system we covered about hexadecimal to decimal, where we converted a number from hexadecimal to decimal, and octal number. In this program we converted our octal number to decimal number and the binary as well, where we converted our binary number to decimal number. So if you haven't checked the video, just check it on I button. So in our current program we are going to create or learn about loop. So before directly jump into loop, let's first understand why we are using loop. So consider a situation where we wanted to print 1000 lines of code. So we have to write system.out.println with the thousands of lines. So rather than repeating the same thing again, we'll go for loop. So loop allow us to repeat our statement or a block of code with the n number of times on a defined condition from start to end. So let's start with the loop. So we'll understand why we are using loop. Loops. Loop allow us to repeat block of code over and over without having or writing same code again. So basically we are converting our program with a great manner, we can say, to execute the same block of code again and again. So loop convert thousands or hundreds of lines code in a just couple of lines. So for example, if you wanted to print n numbers or 1000 numbers, so rather than writing a same code again, we'll go for loop. We'll define a block of code with a starting 1 to 1000 and we'll repeat the same code again and again. So this will reduce the code lines and save our time and remove the program complexity. So this is the example where we used or printed our number from 1 to n. So in this manner we'll use loop in our program. So basically we have three loops in our programming language. There's a for, while and do while, and for loop, enhanced for loop. The fourth one is a enhanced version of our for loop. For loop. For loop is our first loop, and for loop is a control flow statement for a specific iteration which allow code to be executed repeatedly. So we'll use this for loop to repeat our block of statement with the n number of times. Basically for loop consists of initialization, condition and increment decrement part. So initialization, where we wanted to start our execution, condition how long we wanted to go, and increment decrement is the last, we can say, how we can reach the end position. So if we wanted to go from 1 to 10, we'll go for increment. We want because we are increasing our value, and if we wanted to go from 10 to 1, we'll go for decrement. This is the basic syntax for our for loop, where all the three blocks are in same line: initialization, condition and increment decrement part. We'll start with initialization and go till condition, and the increment decrement allow us to go till there, and we'll execute our statement. This is the basic flow of our for loop. So we'll start with our start block, we'll go for user input, and then we'll move for initialization. Then we'll check for the condition. If the condition is true, then we'll go for a block of execution code, statement, increment decrement, and then again we'll check for the condition. If condition is false, we'll directly exit the program. So let's jump into program. So let's create our for loop program. Just for class new, we'll name is the for sample. So let's add our main method here, main. Okay, let's try our for loop. We wanted to go from 1 to 10, so this is like initialization. The initial point is 1 and the ending point is 10. So we'll go for integer I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 10 if we wanted to trace till 10, and I plus plus. So system.out.println will add our message here, start statement, and then we'll add I. So this will print statement 1 2 3 4 until 10. So let's run this. Yeah, program compiled and we received our output, statement 1 2 3 until 10. So basically this for loop, a single line code, executed 10 number of time and provided a 10 statement. So let's jump into the another loop. Our second loop is while loop. In while loop we first check for the condition. If condition is true, then only we'll go for the statement execution. If condition is false, we'll directly return to program. So it also consists of 3 parts, but in a different places, like initialization, condition, and increment decrement. So initialization is before while loop, and then we'll go add a condition in the while, and increment decrement inside our while loop block. So this is the basic syntax, where we have initialization outside the loop, then we have while, condition, and statement. If condition is true, then only it execute, and then increment and decrement part. This is the basic flow of our program. So program start and initialization, then condition. We'll check for condition. If condition is false, the program go for exit. If condition is true, we'll go for statement, and then increment and decrement part. But make sure to add our increment decrement part, because it's the most important thing in while loop. So for example, you wanted to go from 1 to 10 and you forget to add your increment part. So our loop will iterate till n number of time. We can say infinite, because there is no endpoint for this. We are checking for 1 1 1 1 again. So make sure to add our increment and decrement for our while loop program. So let's check our program. So let's create our second while loop program, Java, and we'll name as a while sample. Okay, let's add our main method here. Main. Yeah, let's add our first initialization. We'll go for integer I equal to 0, and then we'll go for condition while I less than 10. We'll print the statement, system.out.println statement, then double quotation plus I. Yeah, we'll add our increment I plus plus. Let's try this. Program compiled, and shortly we'll receive our output. Yeah, we received a statement from 0 to n numbers. So see, in a fraction of second we received 98 something numbers, because I think we added a wrong condition here. So let's check our condition. Instead of adding I by mistake I added 1. So let's try this again. So make sure to add your condition. Yeah, see, so now it worked from 0 to 9, because we added I less than 10. So if you wanted to change it to from 10 less than 10, so you can add I equal to. So now it start from 0 and go until I less than equal to 10. So it will from 0 to 10 11 times. So let's jump into another loop, that is do while loop. Do while loop is a different from other or rest the loops. It first execute the statement and then it go for a condition check, or we can say it is a exit control loop. So in the statement, this loop will execute the code block once. So if the condition is false, then also it will execute our code block at once, because we have added our condition at the last with a semicolon. So remember to add semicolon here. So basically we have initialization, that is before the loop start, then we have do, like do something, and then we have a statement and increment, decrement, and while. So at last we check for the condition. So if condition is false, then also it execute once. This is our basic flow diagram for while loop. So do while loop, it start and we go for initialization, then statement, increment, decrement, and condition. If condition is false, then we'll go for exit. If condition is true, then we go for statement again. Let's have a look on the program. So let's create our do while program. Yeah, just create a Java file. Let's name it as do while sample. Yeah, let's add our main method here. Okay, so it start from initialization. So let's initialize integer I equal to 0. Then we'll go for do. We'll add our system.out.println here. We'll add statement and double quotation and I, and increment part like I plus plus. Then we'll add our condition while I greater than 5. Yeah, so the condition is false here, but we'll check how this program works. So let's run it. Yeah, program compiling, and program compiled, and we saw our output as statement 0. So we can see like program executed once here. Let's change the condition I less than 5. Okay, let's try again. Now it will go from I0 to I4. So statement 0 to statement 4. So in this manner we can see the program executed once when the condition is wrong, and executed from starting to ending when the condition is true. So that's it for do while. Let's have a look on the enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop is different from rest of our other loops. In rest of the loop we have initial and the ending condition, so from where we started and till the ending, but there is no initial condition here or the ending point. So this enhanced for loop will traverse items that are in collections, and it makes code more readable, or we can say we will use array, any kind of object, and data. Let's have a look on the syntax. So it consists of for, data type, variable, and the array name. So array name is our data or collection where we have data, and data type is the similar data that we have in our array name. Let's have a look on the flow diagram. So this is the basic flow diagram for our enhanced for loop. So let's start. So it start from starting point and go for user input, and first we check for the size. If the size is greater than 0, then only we'll go for loop execution, else we'll go for exit. And if size is greater than, we'll execute the statement from starting, and we check for the loop ending. If the element is last, we'll go for exit. If it's not last, we'll go for again loop execution. So in this manner we can execute our enhanced for loop multiple times. So let's have a look on the program. Let's create our Java class and we'll name it as e for loop for a enhanced for loop. Yeah, let's add our main method here, main. Okay, so we need a collection or data or array. So let's create an integer array here for enhanced for loop. Okay, let's add our number 10, 20, 45, 12, 354, 85. Yeah, so we have our data. So we wanted to traverse from 10 to 85. We'll use for, our data type is integer, we'll use j and colon I. So I is our data and j is a child for it. So by single index, or we can say from starting to last index, it will transfer the data from I to j. Let's print it, j. We'll add our message here, statement, and then plus and j. So there's no need to add a starting and ending point here. Let's try this. Yeah, program compiled, and we got our output. Yeah, statement 10, 20, 45, 12, 354 and 85. So in this manner we can traverse any kind of collection or data using for loop, or we can say enhanced for loop. That's it for now. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye. Thank you. We'll connect again.